Welcome to the Cambrian era. The year is roughly 500 million years ago. You have just been born in the warm, shallow waters of a world that looks like a neon fever dream. Congratulations. You are an anomalocaris. In this world, you are the absolute peak of evolution. You are the nightmare that keeps all the little squishy things awake at night. But before you get too excited and start flexing your lateral lobes, let me tell you something. Being the first version of anything usually sucks. You are essentially the Windows 95 of predators. You are full of bugs, your hardware is weird, and the universe is already working on your replacement. Let us look at your body. You are about a meter long. In a world where everyone else is the size of a postage stamp, you are a literal titan. You look like someone tried to build a lobster using only spare parts from a vacuum cleaner and a nightmare. You have these two massive, spiked appendages sticking out of the front of your face. They look like two giant, prehistoric shrimps have been superglued to your cheeks. These are your primary weapons. You use them to grab the tiny, helpless creatures of the seafloor and shove them into your mouth. Oh, speaking of your mouth, let us talk about that disaster for a moment. Your mouth is not a jaw. You do not have teeth. Instead, you have a circular hole made of 32 overlapping plates that look like a serrated pineapple slice. It never closes. You are a giant, swimming garbage disposal with a square hole for a face. It is terrifying for the other creatures, but for you, it is just a constant reminder that Mother Nature did not really have a plan when she made you. And then there are your eyes. This is the only part of you that is actually impressive. You have two massive compound eyes on stalks. Each eye has over 16,000 individual lenses. You have the best vision on the planet. You can see your prey in ultra-high definition. You can see the fear in their tiny, primitive eyes as you approach. You are essentially a god with a 4K camera setup living in a world of blind peasants. But having perfect vision just means you get a front row seat to how ridiculous. You look when you swim. You move through the water by undulating the flexible lobes on the sides of your body. You are like a majestic underwater magic carpet. If that carpet was covered in spikes and had a hunger for trilobite flesh. You spend your days patrolling the reef. Everything you see is food. You do not have to hide. You do not have to be smart. You just have to be big, and you are the biggest thing around. You find a group of Wawaxia. They look like tiny, scaly footballs. You reach down with your shrimp arms, pluck one from the sand, and crush it against your square mouth. It is easy. Too easy. You feel invincible. You think this will last forever. You think the ocean belongs to you. You are the CEO of the Cambrian food chain, and business is booming. You spend your afternoons bullying Opabinia, that weird five-eyed thing with a vacuum hose for a nose. Why? Because you can. Because you are the king. But you are becoming arrogant. You are so busy being the king that you do not notice the world is changing. Your prey is tired of being eaten. They are tired of your square mouth and your 4K eyes. While you are swimming around looking for your next easy snack, the little guys are running a massive software update. They are tired of being soft and squishy. They are tired of being your lunch. They are starting to build things that your serrated pineapple mouth cannot handle. You are about to learn the hardest lesson in biology. Evolution is an arms race, and you just showed up to the party with a cardboard sword and a lot of confidence, while your neighbors are starting to build tanks. You see a trilobite in the distance. Usually, these things are like soft, buttery snacks. You move in for the kill, expecting another easy victory. You extend your spiked arms. You prepare your square mouth for the impact. But as you get closer, you notice something different. This trilobite looks shiny. It looks hard. It looks like it is wearing a suit of armor made of stone. You do not care. You are the anomalocaris. You have never met a problem you could not eat. You grab it. You bring it to your mouth. You bite down with all your strength. And then you hear it. A sound that will haunt your species for the next few million years. It is not the sound of a successful kill. It is the sound of your own mouth plates screaming in agony. The trilobite is fine. Your pride, however, is not. Welcome to the beginning of the end, Your Majesty. The era of the soft body is over, and your square mouth is officially obsolete. You back away from the trilobite. Your mouth is throbbing. You try to process what just happened. For the first time in your life, you have experienced absolute failure. You look at your magnificent spiked arms. They were designed to grasp soft, squishy flesh, not to crack open a calcified fortress. You look at your mouth. It is just a circle of hard plates. You cannot chew. You cannot crunch. You can only suck and swallow whole. And this new armor is too big, too hard, and too sharp to swallow. The trilobite just sits there. It does not even run away. It just wiggles its little legs and stares at you, as if to say, "Is that all you have got, big guy?" You are humiliated, but you are also incredibly hungry. You swim away, looking for easier prey. You spot a hallucigenia walking slowly along the ocean floor. It looks like a worm walking on stilts with spikes on its back. It is so weird that it literally looks like a hallucination. You try to attack it, but you just get a mouth full of sharp spikes. You spit it out in sheer agony. You try to hunt the opabinia, that weird creature with 5 eyes and a vacuum nozzle. But it has learned to bury itself deep in the mud where your large, clumsy body cannot follow. Every single creature you use to bully has suddenly evolved extreme defense mechanisms. The arms race has officially begun, and you are losing horribly. The ocean is filling up with shells, spikes, poisons, and heavy armor. Mother Nature has handed out defensive upgrades to absolutely everyone, and she completely forgot to send your invitation to the party. Days turn into weeks. The hunger is a constant, agonizing pain in your gut. You are a massive creature. You need a massive amount of calories just to keep moving your giant body. But your food source is literally hardening against you. You spend your days swimming frantically, burning precious energy you do not have, looking for anything that has not figured out how to grow a shell yet. But the Cambrian explosion is in full swing, and evolution is moving faster than your primitive brain can comprehend. Your glorious 4K vision, once your greatest asset, has now become a cruel psychological joke. Those 16,000 individual lenses are working perfectly, but all they do is provide you with a crystal clear, high-definition view of your own impending doom. You can perfectly see the delicious, tender meat inside the trilobites, but you cannot reach it. You are like a starving man trapped outside a bakery with a giant bulletproof glass window. You can see the bread, you can almost taste it, but you are completely powerless to break the glass. You become totally desperate. You start scavenging. The mighty king of the ocean is now eating mud, hoping to find a few dead scraps. You try to eat the sea sponges, but they provide zero nutrition and just make you feel bloated and profoundly sad. You try to use your spiked appendages to pry open the trilobite shells, but your limbs were built for speed and grabbing, not for heavy lifting. They snap and bend against the tough calcium carbonate. Your weapons are utterly useless. Your mouth is utterly useless. Your massive size is a terrible burden. You are a biological dead end. You watch as new predators begin to emerge from the evolutionary shadows. Creatures with real jaws, creatures with actual teeth, creatures that were built specifically to handle the new armored world. They are smaller than you, but they are highly efficient. They look at you not with fear, but with pity. You are a relic, a ghost of an era that has already passed you by. You slowly sink to the cold bottom of the ocean. Your body is completely shutting down. You are starving to death in a sea full of food. It is the ultimate cosmic irony. You were the first true apex predator. You were the pioneer of terror. You taught the world what it meant to be afraid. And because you taught them so well, they learned how to protect themselves. You are dying because you were simply too good at your job. You were too successful, too early. You did not have the foresight to evolve actual jaws, and now the universe is punishing you for your lack of imagination. As your 16,000 eyes slowly dim, you realize that being at the top of the food chain is merely a temporary lease, not a permanent ownership. You are going extinct. Not by a giant meteor, not by a massive volcano, but by your own stubborn inability to adapt to a world that simply grew tired of your nonsense. And to make matters worse, millions of years from now, human scientists will find your weird, disconnected body parts fossilized in the Burgess Shale. They will find your mouth and think it is a weird jellyfish. They will find your arm and think it is a strange, headless shrimp. They will be so confused by your terrible anatomical design that it will take them decades just to put the puzzle pieces together and realize you were one single, miserable animal. That is your ultimate humiliation. Even in death, you are a confusing, embarrassing mess. So, what is the legacy of the great Anomalocaris? You are the tragic hero of the Cambrian period. You paved the way for every single predator that followed. Every shark, every lion, every eagle owes you a massive debt of gratitude. You showed the universe that predators are necessary to drive evolution forward. You forced the world to grow armor, to run faster, to hide better. You single-handedly created the modern ecosystem. But your reward for all of this incredibly hard work is to be tossed into the garbage bin of history, remembered only as a weird, oversized shrimp with a pineapple slice for a face. It is a harsh truth, but that is the cold reality of nature. Survival is not about being the biggest or the strongest or having the most cameras on your face. Survival is about being able to change when the world around you changes. And you, my friend, stubbornly refuse to change. Next time you sit down to eat a crab, or crack open a pistachio, or struggle with the plastic packaging on a new pair of scissors, take a moment to think about the anomalocaris. Think about the sheer panic of having a mouth that cannot bite through a hard shell. Think about the absolute tragedy of having the best eyes in the world, only to watch yourself become entirely irrelevant. Being born as an anomalocaris truly sucks. You are the ultimate cautionary tale of the animal kingdom. You are the prototype that was never meant to make it to mass production. If you made it this far, thank you for watching this tragic tale of evolutionary bankruptcy. Do not forget to hit that subscribe button to support Nerixy. We absolutely need your support to keep bringing you these dark, absurd stories from the long history of life on Earth. Leave a comment down below and tell us which prehistoric loser you want us to cover next. And make sure you turn on notifications, because in the next video, we are going to talk about a creature whose entire existence is so miserable, so full of pain and endless suffering, that you will actually be glad you have to pay taxes. You definitely do not want to miss it right now.